guys, welcome back to the channel. I know I'm on the struggle bus Monday today. Looking a little rough, but anyways, I've been getting a lot of questions as to how are Corsos with children. Do I ever need to be worried about the dog biting my child? So first of all, y'all, like to really look at the dog, like you can't really just look at the breed as a whole. Like every single dog has its own traits, own personality, whether it's a like mini schnauzer, a Maltese, like any dog has the capability to bite your child. It all comes down to how are you training your dog. Especially with Corsos, they have to be socialized from a young age. So like we've had our son around dogs like pretty much his whole life, and we've never had an issue because not only do we train our dogs how to interact with him, but we also train him how to interact with the dogs. I tolerate no climbing on the dog, no riding the dog like a horse, like you see all those videos, like yeah, maybe cute or whatever, but at the end of the day, but anyways, it comes down to like, how are you training your dog and how are you training your child to interact with the dog? We don't tolerate jumping, riding the dog like a horse. We don't let our son get into the dog's faces because all of that to the dog is like building up an unhealthy relationship between the dog and your child. Dogs, when they meet face to face, is actually seen as a sign of aggression. So I really watch my son and make sure he's not doing that to them. So yes, you can get a Corso. They are wonderful, wonderful family pets. And honestly, like my son and Storm and Lycan are pretty much all like very inseparable. There's so much love. You ask him, does he love them? And he says yes. And they'll like hug and snuggle and things like that. But you make sure to never leave them. And I still don't. I trust Storm with my life, but I still don't leave my son unattended with any of the dogs that we have. And so that's something that we need to always be thinking of when you do have large breed dogs. You have a responsibility to yourself and your family, but also to other people. Like I know, like growing up, my son's gonna have friends over. In the Corso too, it has a very loyal temperament. It's a guardian breed, so they're very weary of strangers. So that means, you know, putting your dog up in the kennel or the crate if you have people coming over, if the dogs can't behave. What we do is we train our dogs to go to a place, or a lot of people use a bed, place or bed. And when people come over, they sit on the place and they don't move from there. If they do, or we slowly interact them with the person. So if it's the first time someone's coming to our house, we have them like, we don't have them approach the dog and run up to the dog. We let them stand there. We let the dog sniff them. And then they're kind of used to it and then they get over it. But if you make the interaction into a big like fiasco, then yeah, you may have issues down the road. When somebody comes over, they come to the door, we tell Storm sit, either right next to us or we send her to the place. And until they walk in, we don't make a big deal out of it for her. We don't act like, oh my God, she's gonna bite somebody, because it comes down to the training. Like Corsos are a breed that you have to continuously train. You can't send your dog to board and train and have them socialize for the 1 week or 2 weeks, or sometimes if they go for even a month that they're there, and then do no work with the dog at all throughout its life, and then expect when your kids have friends over that the dog is not going to see that as a threat, you know? So yes, Corsos, like I said, are great family pets, but you have to put in the work with them, y'all. It's not something that is just gonna come naturally by itself. They're extremely intelligent, honestly, extremely stubborn breed of dog. I find that the females are a little bit more stubborn than the males. Storm, for example, is our stubborn baby. We have to work with her every day. And if we don't work with her every day, then I do see a regression. Not so much in the regression of her training, because I know that she knows the training commands. It's more so, I'm going to choose to listen to you or not today because we haven't been upkeeping her training, you know? Do you love Storm? Yeah, you do. Storm loves you. Do you love Lycan? Yeah. Thank you, Bubba. Another big thing is your child needs to be involved with training your Corso or your dog. That way the dog sees them as a figure to respect and also knows to obey them as well. Like Jude is 18 months now and he can tell Storm to sit, stay, go to her place and go to her crate, pretty much everything that we can. She doesn't really listen so much to them because dogs kind of see like your height as how they like see dominance also too. So if I put him on top of the tabletop, then she listens. But if they're kind of at the same level, but it's still because he's learning and he's so little and she knows that. But every once in a while she will listen to command from him. But as their bond grows stronger throughout the years, I know that he'll have no problem controlling any of our dogs here. And honestly, I feel like for kids, that helps instill a confidence in them. I am like, how crazy it is, like your 5-year-old or your 7-year-old or whatever, like is controlling like a 120-pound dog. You know, I feel like that builds a lot of confidence with them. It can kind of help structure their day a little bit. Like in the morning, like we can do a training activity, you know, or when they get home from school, we can go out and play with the dog. It kind of gives them a little structure in their day also. In general, just remember, these are really large dogs. So like a lot of times she's kind of turned around or walked a certain way and she's bumped into Jude, and like honestly he'll kind of go flying. He'll like just fall on his butt or something. So it's just something to be aware of when you do have small kids. She's never intentionally hurt him, but just by her size, she doesn't realize how big she is. Sometimes she turns the corner too fast and she doesn't see him and they collide or something. So it's just something to look out for and be aware of if you do have small children at home. But other than that, really, as long as you keep your training up with the dog, you involve your kids in the training, and just love your dog, y'all. Like, I don't think you'll have any problems, especially if you get your dog from a responsible breeder who's breeding like sound temperaments. I wouldn't recommend you get a high drive dog or a dog that is really more so suited for a working line temperament. Which Corsos fall over this all over the spectrum. Yes, the dog is a working breed, but within that, you can have, in one litter, you have all these different types of temperaments. One's more so for show, one's more so like very docile. We had a dog here for a little bit. His name was Luca, and he was the chillest Corso. Okay, thank you. And he was like one of the chillest Corsos I've ever seen. Now, unfortunately, like that whole situation didn't work out, but that's like a story for another day. About that fiasco. But I mean, they all have different temperaments. So when you are getting your dog from your breeder, let them know, look, this is just going to be a family household pet. We do have small children. But really the training is key. If you cannot devote the time and the effort into training a Corso and keeping up with the demands that they need, please don't get the dog, because it's not going to be fair to you. It's going to be a nightmare situation for you, and it's not a really good situation for them either. There's just a lot of things to consider when you get a large breed like this. But anyways, y'all, thanks for watching. Until next time.